isolation going?
No, progressing well, mate. So it's just one of those things, mate. We're getting, I think, of day 4 today, so 6 days to go.
Good stuff. And 2 new backs in the squad in Paolo Dugwa and Harry Randall. Can you just explain what it was that they've done this season that's got them into the squad from your point of view?
Yeah, both have got something a little bit different about them. We've been watching Harry for a long time now, or at least 2 seasons. He continues to develop his game, and he's running, and his initiative in attack is the thing that's really caught the eye, and really pleased with his development. And Paolo's a bit of a guy we saw at the end of last season. He's got power, got a bit of an X factor in power, and we're looking for another centre that has that, centre or winger that has that. And he's been consistently dynamic in that able to break lines.
Thank you.
Duncan, we'll come to you next, please.
Hi, Eddie. Hi. How's Matt Proudfoot coming along, and how disruptive has this been, or are you able just to crack on with work as normal?
Well, Matt's progressing and hasn't been disrupted, not one iota. Look, most of the meetings we do now is by Zoom anyway. So for the next period of time, we've just continued on by Zoom. We had a coaches conference organised for this week, which we've now done entirely by Zoom. In terms of the camp, I'll only miss the first day where we were just going to have meetings anyway. So again, I'll be able to participate in those meetings. And, you know, as you all know, that most of the communications these days is done by Zoom. So it's been no disruption at all.
Okay, and just on Carl Sinclair, he's in neither of the squads, so he'll come in after the Scotland game. How does that situation work exactly?
Well, we'll judge his selection when he becomes available. You know, that's a judgment we'll make when he becomes available.
Okay.
Ross Hargreaves, will come to you, please.
Hi there, Eddie. Just back to Harry Randall. How important to have a very young, kind of dynamic scrum half to push what's your excellent established elite and just continue to drive standards and maybe also look a little bit to the future one day?
Oh, it's more about good players, mate. He's a good young player. He'll put pressure on Benny Youngs and Dan Robson, which is a good thing. But it's not so much the youth that is factor; it's the quality of his play that's the key thing for us.
Did you have to have much talk with him, given the fact clearly Wales was an option, as everybody was aware?
I'm not sure, mate.
So there was no particular need for an extra discussion because of that?
Look, he wants to play for England. We want guys who want to play for England. You know, there are a lot of players out there that have options to play for a number of countries, but we want players who want to play for England. And there was no hesitation about the fact that he wanted to play for England.
And Paolo Dugwa, it's been a fantastic rise, hasn't it? We've seen him in sevens, in the Premiership sevens, and now at Wasps, all of these tries. What's grabbed you most? What's excited you most about him?
Oh, his ball carrying ability. You know, he's got the ability to beat people. He's got a good sense for the line. And just an enthusiastic player, mate. Very enthusiastic player.
And you look at how obviously the likes of Elliot Daly, Anthony Watson are closing in on 50 caps now. Again, a similar point. Do you think, again, he's the kind of guy that can really help lift those standards and maybe get picked ahead of them? Is there a decent chance of that?
Well, selection's to be done. He's in the squad at 28, which gives him an opportunity. In terms of the other 2 guys, they're both self-driven, very self-regulated players. If they get the opportunity to play 50 caps, it's going to be a great achievement for them. Will they be spurred on by a younger guy coming in? Well, I don't think they actually need that because, as I said, they're self-driven players.
Word on Courtney Laws. Obviously, the autumn was excellent without him, but as he comes back, a guy who can hopefully even give more in this latter stage of his career now he's fit?
He's a quality player. You know, he's played 70-odd test matches. He brings that ability to play 6 or lock for us. He's a dynamic ball carrier and an outstanding defender, plus a great guy to have around the squad. So we're delighted to have him back. He's probably going to
How hard with the squad?
home squad for a while.
With a word on 28, how hard that Jonathan Joseph and Jack Willis, I'll pick those two, but I appreciate there's more. How hard to have to effectively say no to these guys to be in your core squad after what they only did a few weeks ago for you?
Well, we're so excited to have 28 players. You know, we're so lucky. As I said in the press release, to have 28 players is more than we've ever had. Normally we operate with 25 players. So we've got 28 players. So it's a fantastic testament to the good relationship between the RFU and the clubs, and we're delighted the clubs have been so generous in giving us 28 players. Now, having said that, there are a lot of good players who missed out. You know, last night when I finished our coaches conference at about 7:30, I had to ring about 30 players and tell them they weren't in the squad, and they were all disappointed. And some very good players there. So it's tough, mate, but we're delighted to have 28 players.
And just finally from me, back to the COVID fallout. No Jason Riles for a good while. Tell us a bit about Ed Robinson's opportunity to work with you guys and I guess be a skills coach among other things.
Yeah, we're disappointed Jason can't come, but his family situation makes it difficult at the moment. Ed Robinson's a young guy I've been working with for a while now. All through the lockdown, we were having weekly meetings on his coaching at Jersey. So I feel like he's a young guy. He's 27. He can come in and really work well with the players, particularly on their skill development. He's got some great coaching ideas. So again, whilst we'll miss Jason, we're lucky to have Ed in the camp, mate.
Thanks, Eddie.
Mitch Phillips will come to you next, please.
Hi, Eddie. Can you just explain how the shadow squad will work, or how you hope it will work?
Well, the reason we've named the shadow squad, which I thought was made it clear in the press release, was that they'll be under the same testing procedure as our 28 players. And if we do have a difficulty with the squad, then we'll be able to bring in players from the shadow squad, because they'll be on the same testing regime as our squad, so it's an easy fit for us. But otherwise, they're with their clubs and they're continually playing and training with their clubs.
Okay, thank you.
Have we got Sarah? We'll come to you next, Sarah Orchard.
Hi there, Eddie. Just one quick one from me. With everything that happened with European fixtures at club level, did you have concerns going into the Six Nations about what will happen when it comes to France's participation, and have you made any planning for that? Look,
That's the administrator's role, not mine. I don't have anything to do with that. We just take everything as it comes. Every day that comes, we'll be prepared as well as we can. If we have to adapt, we'll adapt. Yeah, that's more a question for Bill Sweeney. I'm sure he'd be delighted to take your question.
Thanks, Bill. Eddie.
Thanks. And if we don't have any more questions for the live section? Okay, we'll end it there. Could we politely ask the broadcasters to leave the call? Thank you very much.